I just got this new laser cutter, and for those who didn't know, I do have another laser cutter. However, that one, it's much larger. It doesn't cut acrylic. This one apparently cuts acrylic, so I'm really excited to use it, and I'm actually gonna make name cards for all the employees within my store and surprise them. This room is also so crazy right now. It's the art room where I usually do all of like the screen printing and the laser cutting and any like big projects. We also have all of our inventory here. We're actually cleaning it up because this weekend we're hosting like 10 people at my place. So yeah, I'm like trying to film this and clean, and we're hosting an art market this weekend and trying to manage the store right now. So it's kind of a lot, you know, we'll get through it. Let's start making name tags. Mom helped me unbox the laser cutter, and here it is. I do really like the size because it actually fits on this cart that I have, which is really nice. It also came with an air filter, so haven't tried it out yet, but I'm really excited that it even has an air filter because air quality is really important for your health. So I recommend that if you guys are getting into any kind of laser cutting. And my window is right there, so if I need to filter it outside, it's just right there. Sorry, ignore the setup. It's kind of crazy right now because I think I have to move this cart back so that I can continue hosting my hosts or sorry, my guests in this room, this very room. Oh my god, ignore my millions of tabs. Is anyone else like that with their tabs? You know, you just don't finish doing stuff, so you leave it there for later. Anyways, for this part, I set up the laser machine wirelessly, which is super nice because that means that you don't need any cords to connect your computer to. It just synced to the Wi-Fi, and now I can print from anywhere in my room using my laptop. For this part, you'll notice that the machine comes with a honeycomb tray. So what's nice about the honeycomb tray is that it prevents from burning edges, it prevents scratching the bottom of your machine, and it also just encourages better airflow. I'm putting this piece of paper onto the honeycomb so that I can calibrate the laser for a first time test print. All of this is part of the onboarding packet, which I think Flux did a great job laying out. It's very easy to follow. As someone who has never used a laser machine before, I think you would have a pretty easy experience setting it up. For me, because I have had another laser machine, I don't know if it applies the same, but for example, both of my machines have a different setup. The laser tip is different, the type of laser is different. This machine is a lot smaller and just the calibration process is different, but honestly, following their onboarding packet was very easy. So yeah, I think it can look intimidating and the machine is so big and it can be scary, but I assure you it was very easy to set up. For this part, it's calibrating some lines and it just sketched them out, and so now the machine knows where the lines are, what to look for. It also came with this sample wood piece, and so I'm just gonna etch a logo from my store, Peaker Art and Friends in Seattle, and see if it can etch some engravings and also cut through wood. Don't forget not to stare at the laser. That's just 101 safety. It can be very bright, it can burn your eyes, so wear safety goggles. While you're working on the project, don't stare at the laser. The piece here that I'm doing is making sure that the laser is at the correct distance from the wood. Again, all of that is part of the onboarding packet. You can also just YouTube anything these days. So I YouTubed like how to calibrate my FLUX laser machine, how to make sure that the wood piece is the right distance from the laser. It's very satisfying to watch it go through the first time. I was very excited to have it try out the sample logo that I had. I think for me, the toughest part is the onboarding because I personally don't like setting up new things. I don't like building them. I just don't like having a new item set up. And so I got FUM to do that. And then I went straight into lasering. Oh snap. Pretty nice engraving. And look at the little guys. I kind of messed up on this one, but it cut pretty well. Okay, I'm really excited to make the tags because they're gonna be so cute. Also, look at these glasses they sent to protect my eyes from the laser. Can I stare at the sun now? Okay, now that we have done the sample test, I'm just gonna go straight in and start making the name tags for my staff. So I designed the logo in Illustrator. You can design the logo in Procreate, in Photoshop. You can even do it on pencil and paper and just scan it in. But once you have the design, you can import it into their program, the FLUX Laser Machine app. The thing I was most excited about this was that it can actually cut acrylic. My previous machine was not able to do that. It was only able to cut black acrylic, but now I can play with things like color, translucent, even mirror acrylic. I think that was what I was looking forward to the most. And so having it cut acrylic was something that was really exciting, and you can see here it cut through very cleanly. My plan for these name tags was I was going to experiment to see what different options I had, whether it was like cutting and painting on them or cutting and having like a layered effect of acrylic. I'll show you what I mean as I go through this video. I was also super excited to finally use my sticker tweezer. This was something that I got in Asia. Oh, by the way, the air purifier that comes with the machine, super helpful. It made it so that things don't smell as I'm cutting and air is being filtered properly so that it's safe to breathe within this room. You should definitely have the pipe go out the window so that the air can be filtered out. I've always envied people who use the tweezers for stickers. I just felt like, oh my god, they're so hardcore that they're using tweezers to place their stickers accurately on things. But I have finally reached that point. And so on my last trip, I ended up getting some tweezers at Loft. You can get it at any stationery store, I think. So I chose Loft. There's also Itoya. What I'm doing here is I am coloring in parts of the logo with acrylic paint, and hopefully it will stay onto the acrylic piece. I don't know, I'm just experimenting. So random, but this video came across my For You page, or like my For Watch page on YouTube. And so I'm just watching this like voice acting behind the scenes video for Pokemon while I laser cut. I will say the thing about this laser machine is that it's smaller, like by a lot, than my previous machine. And so there were times when I had to remove the honeycomb so that I can make more room for other acrylic pieces that didn't fit on top of the honeycomb bed. This is okay too, as long as your piece is elevated nicely on top. I think my favorite feature is actually the camera feature on this laser machine. So what happens is the camera moves around and it sees exactly where you have laid down your piece. And so without having to measure anything, you can know exactly where to laser cut the designs that you have. I feel like I said exactly a bajillion times, but yeah, that was probably my favorite feature. Okay, here's some lore storytelling. In college, we actually had some laser machines that the school provided that we could use. And I would say out of all of the types of machines and tools that we provided in school, I used laser machines the most. I remember as a college student thinking, oh, it would be so cool to have this in my home, but I don't think I'll ever be able to have that because the machines are just so big, so clunky. And there was always a maintenance person that was there to help us use the machines. Sometimes the machines would break, and that just seemed like a lot of work to fix. And some days the machines were down, so we couldn't use them, and we would have to wait and take turns using like only one machine out of the 6, for example. So I think I was like, oh, that would be so cool, like such a dream to have your own laser machine, but I don't think that's ever achievable. Fast forward, there's so much like new technology that exists. There is these smaller laser machines like this FLUX one where you can just have it in your room. You could have an air filter and that helps with the airflow, or just have it like pipe out of the window. So I think that's super cool considering, you know, back then I just never envisioned having my own. You know, when people peel these stickers off of things, like when you first get a remote or like you first get your car and on the screen there's like a film that you can peel for the first time. I'm definitely not one of those people that enjoy peeling. I actually save those peeling experiences and moments for my friends or for fam, and I wait for them to peel it for me, and their excitement is more rewarding for me than having myself peel it. I think there's just something about, I don't know, setup in general. Getting new things and opening them and setting up the item is not my favorite. But seeing the acrylic paint on these acrylic pieces and then peeling them was it was satisfying in the sense that I liked seeing that the paint was sticking to the acrylic. One other thing that I realized when I was making these is I was cutting out the logo individually and having all the little pieces come out, but quickly I realized that that was not the best way to go about this. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to create like a layered acrylic effect. I'm printing out and cutting out all of the little character pieces, and my idea was, oh, I'll just glue all of them individually together. But issue number one was removing them from the honeycomb bed was a lot because there's a lot of pieces, and so they fall out, and now I have to be like, oh, which piece goes where? Do I have the right number of pieces? Did any fall through the cracks? So I think that was like number one, red flag. But you know, you learn and you live. Number two was when you start peeling all of the pieces and it's time to glue them into the acrylic base. The glue didn't stick very well. Does anyone have any advice on gluing two acrylic pieces together? I wasn't sure if it's like because I'm using mirrored acrylic, is that why it's having difficulty staying? And I'm also using Gorilla Super Glue. I don't know if that is the best option, but it did feel like the glue was moving around a lot and I was having trouble just making the pieces stay. Yeah, very quickly, but I was like still stubborn and trying to make it work. Very quickly I realized, okay, this is not the move. Look at this translucent looking iridescent acrylic piece. I have been really excited to use this. I actually got it like, I don't know, half a year or a year ago, but when I found out that my laser machine can't cut iridescent acrylic, I was so sad. I didn't return it because I don't know, I just forgot. But now that I have this machine that can cut iridescent, I'm really excited to see what I can make. But anyways, yeah, I quickly realized that it's not a good idea to cut out every single piece individually, and so eventually I did move towards a process where I combined the logo together so that it's not individual pieces. I made the characters basically hold hands more closely together, and in that way I can just do one single cut, have one piece, and that piece can be glued entirely onto the base. It's projects like these that remind me of my college days where I spent a long time doing like little crafts, very precise little things. I find myself not doing that as often these days because I'm doing mostly like product design, more higher level management things, especially with the store. I have to manage like events that are happening and curation and the staff, stuff like that. And so there's much more admin work that is happening day to day. So I do really appreciate being able to make these little craft projects. I finished. It came out like this. It was a roller coaster ride for me, just figuring out like what colors I wanted and how to print it out, especially this one. So for this one, I originally cut all the pieces individually, but as you saw, gluing it together was a total nightmare. So I redid it, and now all the characters are just one piece. So this was way easier to glue on. And then my first version was just like this etched version where I painted over it. I think this is probably the fastest one other than like the time it takes to dry with the paint. But the 3D ones are, in my opinion, I think they look pretty cool. I don't know if you can see that from far away though, like if you can tell it's 3D or not. I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna show staff all of them and then see which ones they pick, and based on that I can make more and also make it custom for everybody. I also love that I can just tuck the laser cutter very nicely away, just like this. I still have to take off the tube so I can push it flush to the wall, but it makes the art room very tidy that it's this size. I'm gonna stop by the store today to give it to staff and get their reaction. I can't wait. I made something.
What
I
is
made
that?
name tags for us.
Oh my god.
Okay, my idea is that you guys can write. You can write your name on it.
New product comments?
I hope you guys enjoyed that video of me just blabbering about laser machines and just showing the process of this laser machine. I really enjoyed it. I think I will continue to make more name tags because we have a lot of staff in our store, and so far I've only made a few for some, and I also asked them for color preferences and things like that, and so I'm excited to make it for the rest of my team. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I post videos every Monday, although I did miss last week just because I was so busy. There were so many things. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye.